Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be a first of its kind. I'm going to be showing some Overwatch gameplay, and on top of it, my commentary is going to be a bit of a story time of a peculiar incident in my life that happened when I think I was a sophomore in high school. This is about my friend, well, as you can tell by the title, literally burning his front yard down entirely. And it's both a stupid story and a really entertaining story, I think. This takes place back in sophomore year of high school. This was the winter time, January or February. I live in a neighborhood with a lot of my friends that I've grown up with and stuff, and we all went to the same school. So one day after school, we're like, let's hang out. It was me and three of my other friends, whose names will be changed for their protection, of course. Anyways, we wanted to hang out, and a continuous problem with my friend group, probably till this day, is we never know what to do. It just ends up like sitting around and talking. It's a very boring affair, but I don't know, we wanted to hang out, we couldn't think of anything. So anyways, well, we say we want to hang out, and we meet at my buddy's place. We'll change his name to Curtis. Curtis's house, and well, the thing is, we weren't inside his house. I think his parents weren't home, and they had some rule about not going in there when they weren't around, and or you can't have friends there, or he was locked out or something like that. I don't really know what the full deal was. But so anyways, we're outside and we can't go in there. My buddy, we'll call him Randy because it's his yard, but he lives down the street a little bit. I feel like we couldn't go in his house for the same reason, or I don't know, we wanted to be outside something. And we're just basically sitting around like trying to figure out what to do. And my group of friends is probably has a couple pyromaniacs, I would say, you know, fireworks and bonfires and stuff. Nothing really like malicious or anything, just, you know, likes fire and stuff. I mean, what teenage boy doesn't like playing with fireworks and stuff? So throughout this whole thing, and they had done this before, and nothing had ever come of it. My one friend, we'll call him Brandon and Randy, were lighting little fires in my buddy Curtis's yard. The grass in these yards, you have to understand, is like, it's a certain type of grass, and I don't know what it's called. It's not dead, but it definitely looks dead, and it has probably the same properties as dead grass. It's just really thick, lightly colored grass. They were lighting little patches of that on fire, stomping it out with their foot. Curtis was getting really bothered by this, and eventually went inside because he was just like, you know, that's all that Brandon and Randy were doing. Thank God they didn't light someone else's yard on fire. Curtis goes inside, and he's pretty much had it. And this is such also an I told you so story. It's really a spectacle when I think back on it. Like what an interesting event this was, and what carnage happened to my buddy's front yard. But so Curtis goes inside, and we go to my buddy Randy's yard. They start eventually, you know, Randy doing this to his own yard, and my friend Brandon are lighting little patches and stomping it out. And I'm like, guys, come on. I've been saying this to Curtis, but I was like, come on, this is... Because they were letting it get, you know, and the more they did it, they would let the fire get a little crazier and then stomp it out, but it was still pretty contained. You could just see this coming. You see this story coming a mile away, like 100 miles away. So as you can probably guess, at one point, Randy lights a bit of grass on fire like usual, and I'll never forget this, but I'm watching it, and it grows, and it's just like, you can just think like in the microseconds, like I realized like, okay, this is getting too big, you need to stamp this out. And then as I was thinking that, it kept growing, and then I was like, wait, shit. It was so past the point of like when he should have stamped it out, and then he's like, oh fuck, and you know, starts stomping on it with his shoes, which by the way are like, he might as well have been wearing shoes made out of paper. They're like, what he was wearing was like they give him the African children, the Toms. They're so thin, but those type of shoes, that, I mean, and this fire was probably, when he decided to stomp it out, I would say it might have been a foot in diameter. we were just like, oh my god. My other friend Brandon, he's there. He starts trying to stomp on it. He's wearing Converse, not very helpful either. And he grabs his backpack that he has with him, and just in an attempt to combat the flames, he throws it down, but he's just fanning the flames and making them worse. And they're just like freaking out. I think at that point, it all just happened so fast. I don't know if my buddy Randy started calling the fire department, or people started showing up like out front of his house, like stopping in the street and like just staring at this event unfold. It's my friend's lawn is being engulfed in flames, this huge thing. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. So I'm thinking, and I run to the back. I was like, oh, there's a hose in the back. I'm running as fast as I can, trying to look for the hose. I take the hose. There's all these like little like lawn ornaments or like stuff in the way, and I'm pulling the hose as fast as I can. I'm probably knocking stuff over. Probably broke a couple things, to be honest, but I'm trying to pull this hose around, and I reach, and it doesn't make it like around his driveway, so it's not nearly long enough. And by the time that I'm out there, his neighbor's out there like freaking out. A mom and her kids basically, but she's got the hose out there, I think, and Curtis has heard the ruckus and come out into this just hellfire that is occurring in my friend's front yard, as everything's just, I mean, it was so like intense. I was really, really worried that the house was going to catch on fire. There's cars stopped in the street. There's, oh man, his neighbors like already really had it out for him, honestly. And after this, I don't think ever quite viewed Randy the same. She was just so furious and just absolutely livid, yelling at everyone when I was just like basically watching this whole thing unfold. They managed to actually retain the fire with just using their neighbor's hose, which was pretty impressive, to be honest, because if you'll notice in the photos and stuff, like even the bushes and trees became like engulfed in flame, and that's when I was worried it would carry on to the wooden parts of the kind of porch on the outside and to the house, but thankfully that didn't happen. So at a certain point, the fire department shows up. I don't think the fire department really did anything other than ask who did it, and Randy had no problem saying that it was him. And they took out, I think, some like wiring that my friend had around his front yard, just like a long extension cable that was completely burnt to a crisp. And they took that out, I guess, as a safety hazard thing. But other than that, they just left, and no one got in trouble or anything. The only thing was my friend's neighbor was really livid and still yelling at him after this. And it was quite an event, honestly. But I'll tell you, after all the dead grass and stuff, it grew back really like luscious and green. It wasn't the crappy, dead-looking grass that they had before. So honestly, no harm, no foul in my eyes. It was a bit of yard maintenance. Yeah, that pretty much concludes the video. I don't think anything really came of it. His parents were probably mad, but I don't know that he really even got in trouble or anything, or if he did, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, just a little interesting little tale to brighten up your day. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you'd like to see any more story times, I could probably think of some more. Just let me know. I quite like doing this kind of commentary. I think it's pretty fun, and I enjoy listening to a lot of story time commentaries myself. Just like, subscribe, all that jazz. You guys know the drill. And let me know if you want to see more in the future. Simple as that. And I'll see you guys next time.